kumbalarai daka GOI kabinet menta kasngi kalai hadu kumba khandai phopra million yaka BRICS New Development Bank kabalatip kum kam Meghalaya Exo Tourism Infrastructure Development Project kani ka project kapan jing ya manjur yaka development jongka infrastructure ban pentri kam yaka ecotourism kum yaki jing pynbha ne thung yaki ding kisit ki sentiu ki jing don jing em bat ban penthamai yak yeng neki jaka trei kam jongka tourism bat ban pynbha yaki jaka jngohkai ne SNGI kibala kham hyndai ka kabinet kal ai jingbet yaka office jongka memorandum ban penmi yakilat kelenti hakayo kakot bat ka certificate jongka jingdon jingem nakamda ki jaka kibaduna hakayo kakot jongka state kani kadeka reservation nakamda ki civil post bat ki post haka GOI office bat ki post bat ki admission haki jaka pule jongka ke central government ya kani ka kam trekam ne kenthop ya kito kibaha hapo jongka reservation scheme nakamta ki STS SCS but OBCS
other three agendas. Sorry, we had 5 agendas. I'm sorry. So out of the 5 agendas, we 3 required more discussion, and some of the cabinet colleagues who were in charge of that department were not present. So we could not go ahead, and we have deferred 3 of the agendas, which I cannot share because it's been deferred. But we took up the other 2 agendas. One was regarding an approval of an externally aided project under the name of the Meghalaya Eco Tourism Infrastructure Development Project. This is a $98 million project from NDB, and now the NDB requires, and the Government of India requires, these EAPs to be approved by the Cabinet. So we have approved that in the Cabinet, which is for the guidelines of issuance of income and asset certificate for the economically weaker section in the state of Meghalaya. If you remember and recall that in the Parliament, in the Assembly, when we had the session, somebody had raised about the certificates for the economically weaker sections, and there the guidelines or the OM had been issued by the Government of India, but state government had not or issued the OMs in reference to that. So that was rectified in one way, and today we have approved the OM, and this basically is for reservation for economically weaker sections in civil posts and services in Government of India offices and posts, and admissions in educational institutions, which are obviously central institutions. This, as I mentioned in my reply in the Assembly also, that this is applicable to persons who are not covered under the existing schemes of reservation for the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribes, and the socially and educationally backward classes. So therefore, this does not apply to majority of the population of Meghalaya, and this is applicable to minusing those categories who are already under the existing schemes of reservations of all the scheduled tribe and the caste, scheduled tribe, scheduled caste, and economically and socially backward. So the families whose incomes are less than 8 lakhs, they will get this economically weaker section certificate. But if these families also, in spite of having 8 lakhs and less income, if they still have 5 acres of agricultural land and above, they will not be entitled to the certification. If they have residential flat of 1,000 square feet, if they have residential plot of 100 square yards, and if they have residential plot of 200 square yards in non-municipal areas, even they will not be entitled. So we had to only approve these guidelines and these OMs, which is what was done today. So this certificate, they will be, as I said, it's meant to give the for services, civil posts and services in Government of India, and admission in education institutions, more specifically run by Government of India. So this is basically a project for development of infrastructure for experiential ecotourism in Meghalaya. So basically this will be related to ecotourism projects, infrastructure, projects like landscaping and building of tourism amenities in different locations. It also looks at revamping overall infrastructure for tourism, It looks at different cultural aspects and how to uh, improve the infrastructure around those areas. Heritage walks like the David Scott Trail, different aspects of the tourism spots that we have. So basically, it's in and around the overall development of infrastructure throughout the state. We're also looking at holistic village developments. So we're going to adopt villages in one way and then improve the overall tourism projects around those areas. There is also some component of uh, road connectivity also in that. So things like these, there are many components. I don't think it'll be possible for me to go through all of them. But in nutshell, basically, it's regarding the infrastructural development around different tourist destinations.